I'm Mike Sullivan. Does your ball constantly go off to the right as a right-handed golfer? And what I mean, just go dead right, not even curving. We call that a push, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. Okay, so that was a block, that was a push, different than a slice. Typically when we see a slice, we have a situation where our ball launches straight ahead, or even for a right-handed golfer, a little bit to the left, and then it peels off and slices. The reason why that happens is that we make contact with the ball as the club travels from outside the target line, cutting across the ball, the club face is square or closed, and we see kind of this, you know, the typical banana ball. A lot of times better players who swing the club coming from the inside of the target line, doing a lot of things correctly, what happens is they fail to really allow their club face to release properly, and they end up with the ball that starts off to the right and keeps going to the right. And that's really what the key is. So a lot of times we spend so much time working on moving our way to our front side, hitting the inside portion of the ball and getting that club out to the right. What happens is we fail to really allow the natural release of our forearms, rotating the club face through to help us hit a ball that's going to be a really nice tee shot. So let's take a look at what we want to try to figure out here. And this is something that I'll say, you know, quite often in classes is I like to sometimes take things off of the plane of golf and more on a plane of, say, baseball. All right, so if I was a baseball player and I had a ball up on a tee in front of me, you know, I'd set up here to hit the ball, and you can see my club face is square to where I want to hit it. It's not open, which would be pointing up, or closed, pointing down. And as I turn back, the club face opens. So take a look at this club face. As I turn back, it starts pointing up towards the sky. That's an opening of the club face. And then as I come through, it's going to close. And how much was that closing through impact here, going slow? I'm not sure exactly how much, but there's definitely this toe passing the heel throughout the course of the golf swing. This is something that happens, I'd like to say it happens naturally, although some people have to time it, some people have a little bit more trouble learning this, but it really is something that's kind of a natural motion. If you're gonna throw a ball, say sidearm, you turn back, your palm of your hand would open up a little bit, you'd come through and you'd release it, and your hand would kind of rotate. There'd be some rotation of your forearms, pronation, supination, all that stuff. I don't think it's that important to talk about which is which and how it works, but we do have to make sure we do is that we allow that toe to pass the heel. So what I'd like to see you do is set up with, say, your driver, the club that gives you the most trouble, and first understand, okay, what's going on is I'm pushing this ball to the right. Well, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to hook the ball to the left. But the way I'm going to do it is I want the ball to start right and then hook left. So I'm actually going to move the ball a little bit back in my stance. I'll show you what it's going to look like over here. My hands will get a little bit ahead of it. And this is a drill, not the way we would actually play. And I'm going to go ahead and make contact with the inside part of this ball, which will look like this. The inside part of the ball, but I'm going to make sure that toe rotates past the heel. The first few times you do this, you may hit a ball that just goes right to right, just like before. Keep practicing and just allow yourself to get the feel of that toe starting to pass the heel. When you start seeing shots that start right and then start drawing back to the left, now you've got the right type of release happening and you're starting to learn what a good release feels like. Once you get the feel for that, move the ball into your normal ball position and start hitting shots. There will be a point where you get the ball too far forward and everything starts to slice rather than push. Then you know you maybe went a little bit too far forward and you can move it back. If you never get to the point that the ball starts on line or is always starting way too far right, it may still be too far back in your stance. You may have to go forward. So those are things you can play with. So this is our drill. Ball back in the stance a little bit for driver, hands forward, which gets my club face open, and I'm going to hit the inside part of that ball. The ball's going to launch off to the right. That was right to right. Now I'm going to try to get a little bit more rotation with my club face. This is very, very similar to a tennis player who hits a tennis shot that starts and goes up a little bit and then dives over the net. It's the same type of action. So ball a little bit back in the stance and make that tennis release now. So that ball started a little bit to the right and then drew back to the left. Definitely the type of release that we want to have. This is something that, again, you want to practice. You've got to get a feel for it, especially working with the driver. You're going to hit some bad shots. Don't get frustrated by it, but just understand if that ball starts to the right and stays to the right, you've got a ball position issue with the ball too far back, but you've also probably got a problem where the toe of the club is just not passing the heel as you get through impact. If you like this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up for a like. And if you subscribe to our channel, you'll be notified by email each time that we produce a new instructional video.